This video is going to be what I do every single day, which is editing tables. And I see a lot of mistakes with it. So we're going to work with the basic table right here, 2012 leading causes of death. This is from Whiskers from CDC. And basically when you see tables like this, I see it in a lot of presentations. There's a lot of rows, and the numbers over here are sometimes inconsistent. So we'll talk about what's going right in this and what's going wrong. You always want this general alignment, which is having numbers aligned to the right and text aligned to the left. So rarely, if ever, do you ever want text aligned to the center. And this is for a couple reasons. There's actually these leading lines right here. So I'm going to go over with my mouse real quick, but there's this line right here that your eye's looking at subconsciously. And you don't really want that. You don't want it to go in and out. So that's why you always have your text aligned to the left. And sometimes to the right, but you always want it aligned to the left or right. You never want it in the center. For numbers, you always want it aligned to the right. It just makes it easier to look at. So let's start making edits with this. The first part, I'm going to make this tile a little bit smaller. So I'm probably going to put it at 20. It looks a little small, but this will make a little more sense later. Oh, wait, let's put 30. Then we're going to clean up here. So basically, I see this a lot in slides that people have different levels of specificity. So you always just want to keep them the same. So throughout your whole slideshow, throughout all your presentations, if you go to 0.1 specification, then that's what you use for the whole thing. Don't try to switch it around too much. It gets a little bit confusing, and I think it looks a little sloppy. So we're going to delete those out, clean that up. Now, so if you watch my other slideshows, you know that I like a point size of 25, and this is much too small. This is at 14. So you're going to realize that we're going to have to condense this, and it's always good to condense. When I see a lot of tables like this, there's always way too much on the screen for me. So by condensing things, it makes it a lot easier. And the simple trick I use is to use ratios. So adding up this whole table and dividing it by the total to get a ratio. And then anything under 5%, I condense. And it's scary, and it's really cool how many things condense very easily if you use this rule. So usually you end up with groups of 6 or 5, and it really works out really well. So I actually have this number, and I'll pull it up real quick. So this one is below 5%, and the number for the total of this is 2. Deleting it. 297 427. So let's clean that up. Let's move it to the right. Then another thing with numbers I always like to do, if you ever have numbers that go past 4 digits, always put the comma in. No matter what number you have that goes past, rarely are there any cases where you don't want the comma in there. So now we're going to change this to all other. Then we're going to increase the font size to 25. 24 works. So now we have a slide that's a lot easier to look at. The numbers are very big. It's very clear. The line sites are really nice. So a straight line right here, a straight line right here, a straight line right here. So it's a lot easier to read already. We'll finish it up real quick. So let's see other things I'll do. I'll try to move it. Move that up a little bit. Let's see if we can move this down. Move this down a little bit. And then we can get rid of the outlines. Not only is it much clearer, it makes it easier for you to talk about something. So you're not talking about 10 groups, you're talking about less groups. And from here, you're going to see, wow, heart disease is really big. Unintentional injury, is a lot smaller, about almost 3 times smaller than that. And then all these other things, they don't add up to much. So a lot of these other deaths, all these other deaths don't even add up as much to heart disease, or half of heart disease. So these are things, this is what happens when you simplify a slide, you simplify a table or anything. It's going to make it so what you want to say is easier and clearer. And so hope this helps. This is how I go through a lot of my tables, cleaning them up. I don't want a lot of numbers in there a lot of times. And I want to make it as simple for the audience to interpret as possible. So that's just how I go through them. Some other things I may do are make this a little bit smaller, tighter, so the numbers get in closer, and then a little bit more alignment. things like that. But these are the basic principles, keeping it more simple and knowing how to format numbers. So adding these commas and removing, making sure that they have the same level of specificity. Those are just really important things to do. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye.